If you're building anything for the web today, you are in an arms race. Seriously, it's a race to ship features faster and faster, but without, breaking everything in the process. And your secret weapons in this fight? Automation frameworks. Today, we are putting the three heavy hitters, Selenium, Cypress, and Playwright, in the ring, head to head. So let's see which one of these giants really comes out on top.
All right, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll talk about why this is even a battle worth fighting. Then we'll pop the hood and look at their core architecture. After that, we'll see how all that tech actually translates to speed and smarts. Then we'll check out the developer toolkit, and finally, we'll help you pick your champion.
So let's start right at the beginning. Why are we even in this so-called automation arms race? Well, it all comes down to just how ridiculously complex the modern web has become.
I mean, just think about it for a second. The apps we build now, especially with frameworks like React, they're not static pages anymore. They're living, breathing organisms. You've got complex state, you're fetching data from all over the place, and you have bits of the UI just appearing and disappearing constantly. So how on earth do you make sure that it all just works for your users?
Well, you could try testing it all by hand. Clicking through every single possible user journey every single time you change one line of code, but that just doesn't scale. Manual testing is slow, it's really easy to make mistakes, and honestly, it's a huge bottleneck when you're trying to move fast. It's like trying to build a skyscraper with a handsaw. It's just not the right tool for the job, and that's where automation comes in. Okay, so to really get these tools, you have to look at how they're built. Their core architecture, the way they're designed, is the single biggest difference between them. And trust me, it affects absolutely everything else.
So here it is, the big divide. You've got Selenium, the OG of the group. It basically talks to the browser from the outside. Imagine it's a puppeteer pulling strings. It sends commands over a standard web protocol to a separate little program, the driver, which then tells the browser what to do. But the new kids on the block, Playwright and Cypress, they work from the inside. They run their test code directly inside the browser itself, right alongside your app. And that one difference has massive implications for speed and control.
And this table right here just lays it all out perfectly. Check out that communication row. Selenium uses the standard W3C protocol. It works, it's universal, but it's like sending a letter. There's some overhead. Now look at Playwright. It uses a WebSocket. That's like having a direct, open phone line straight to the browser. It's way faster. And then there's Cypress, which you can see in the execution row, does something really clever. It runs your app in one little box, an iframe, and your tests in another, all inside the same window. This gives it direct native access to everything going on.
Okay, so enough with the theory. What does all that architectural stuff actually mean for you, the person who has to write and run these tests every day? Let's talk about how this all translates into real-world performance.
Probably the single biggest breakthrough from these new architectures is something called auto-waiting. See, in the old days, you had to manually code in little pauses. Wait 2 seconds for this button to appear. And if you got it wrong, your test would fail randomly. This created what we call flaky tests, and they are the worst. Auto-waiting just gets rid of that whole problem.
And what's really incredible is just how smart this is. I mean, look at this example from Playwright. Before it even tries to click something, it automatically checks. Is it visible? Has it stopped animating? Is there anything covering it up? Is it actually enabled and ready to be clicked? It does all that for you instantly behind the scenes for every single action. It's amazing.
And the takeaway here is super simple. All this intelligence that's baked right into the framework means your tests are not only faster, they are just way more reliable. You spend less time pulling your hair out debugging flaky tests and more time actually building cool stuff.
But get this, the benefits of these modern architectures might go even further than just speed. Here's a question you probably weren't expecting. What about energy efficiency? Could your choice of testing framework actually have an impact on your carbon footprint?
Well, according to one study, the answer is a resounding yes. And we're not talking about a small difference here. The energy cost to perform the exact same action in a browser can be up to 6 times higher depending on which framework you're using. 6 times!
Just take a look at this chart. For a really simple action, just typing text into a box, some frameworks use almost double the energy of others. And it probably comes back to that architecture we talked about. All those extra processes and communication layers, well, they just use more power. Now, this might seem tiny, but when you multiply it by millions of test runs and pipelines all over the world, it actually starts to add up. All right, so a framework is way more than just its engine, right? The tools that it gives you for writing, for debugging, for just understanding what went wrong, they're just as important.
So what's it actually like to use these things day to day? So remember, the whole point of this is what we call end-to-end testing. We're not just checking if a single button is the right color. We're trying to simulate a real person's entire journey through our app, from landing on the home page to adding something to the cart, all the way to checking out successfully. The best tools make that whole complicated process feel really simple and intuitive.
And we all know when things go wrong, especially on some remote server in the cloud, debugging can be a total nightmare. And this is where Playwright's Trace Viewer is an absolute game changer. It literally records everything, every click, every network request, and a picture of the screen at every single step. It's like having a time machine for your broken tests.
Cypress, on the other hand, is legendary for its developer experience while you're actually writing the tests. Their test runner gives you this incredible live feedback loop. You can see your commands running in the browser right next to your code as you type. It just makes building tests feel incredibly fast and, honestly, kind of fun.
Okay, we've looked at architecture, performance, and the tools in the box. It is time to put it all together. How do you actually pick the right champion for your team and your project?
At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this. If you absolutely need to support a bunch of different programming languages, or you've got really complex old-school integrations, Selenium is still the undisputed king. If you're a front-end team that lives and breathes JavaScript, and you value that super fast visual feedback loop, Cypress is fantastic. But if your top priorities are just raw speed, rock-solid reliability, and powerful modern tools like tracing, Playwright is really hard to beat right now.
But hey, just when you think you've got it all figured out and you've picked a winner, there's always a twist. This is a fast-moving space, and you should never, ever count out the original.
That's right, the Selenium project is hard at work on a brand new protocol called BIDE. And the goal? To bring that same kind of super fast, two-way communication that powers Playwright to the world's most established automation framework. So the arms race isn't over, not by a long shot. It's just entering a new, even more powerful chapter. And as the weapons keep evolving, the real question is, which one are you going to choose?